Well, shit.
What are y'all doing?
This is awful. I'm Deontay.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be having another discussion. This time we're going to be doing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you haven't already, you can go check out our previous video where we went over and discussed Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone. So for this book, we're going to jump right back into it. Our hero is now back at Privet Drive with the Dursleys, and it is his worst birthday. Let's get into it.
Before we do that, just imagine like having to go back to that.
Just going back from like
he been living it up. Everybody thinks he's the man, and now
he back to being nobody. Back to being nobody.
And they hate him.
And by the way, you know, she did forget her wand. We were supposed to both have our wands, so you know.
Wow, talk about not throwing people under the bus.
Well, I mean.
Okay, next time I'm not gonna hold back.
Okay, I don't know what you're waiting on either.
So Harry's back in the trenches, back at Privet Drive, where he hates it. He hasn't heard from his friends all summer. They said they was going to write to him, and they haven't. Now we're coming up on his birthday, so he's gotten all the way to July, hasn't heard from nobody. It's the worst birthday ever.
And then up pops my favorite character, Dobby the House Elf. And when he comes on, and you don't, like, for me, I didn't initially like him because I was like, why you doing my boy like that, setting him up? But he comes with the warning, you know, and I'm like, all right, so then he's locked up in a room, and then here comes our boys, the Weasleys, coming to save him in the flying car.
And we get to see more of like the magical world. So he goes to the burrow for the first time. We see, you know, they got stuff up on the walls, doing work for them, cleaning dishes and stuff like that. And
I think it's pretty cool the way that they, you know, like, I think the Weasleys are like the typical family. Even with them not having much, I would have rather been with the Weasleys as opposed to living with the family like the Malfoys or, you know, the other families, because you can tell they all cared about each other, and especially Molly Weasley. Who wouldn't want a mother like, you know, like Molly?
Right. Like, she uses magic for a lot of stuff as far as like around the house, but she always still puts her motherly touch on everything. Like, she still sews their sweaters for them every Christmas and stuff like that.
I actually would rock one of those sweaters. I don't know what they be tripping on, but
I know.
I would rock those.
Maybe because they've gotten them their whole life.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, another sweater.
You get to see how they travel using the flu powder, and Harry he gets lost in Nocturne Alley, and then you kind of get a sense of Hagrid's sketchy side, because he's in Nocturne Alley, and then Harry was like, all right, what you doing down here?
I know, he was getting on Harry, like, don't ever be on this part of town. And then Harry like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what you doing down here? I came here by accident.
Yeah.
You look like you was down here on purpose.
Hang on. What were you doing down there then?
Me? Oh, I was...
And then he tried to switch it up. He's like, oh, I was over here. He made up some kind of bad excuse. So then he goes from Nocturne Alley to Diagon Alley, where we meet one of the funniest characters.
And your favorite character. Don't not try to...
I would not say he's my favorite character.
Well, you actually did, though.
Funny.
You did, though.
I never said that. You said that.
When we was in Wizarding World, and you took a picture in front of his...
Do you have proof? I never said he was my favorite character. He's one of the funniest ones, because he's such a fraud. He's like just so full of it that it's comical.
It's over the top fraud. And it's like sometimes people are fraud and they're like they're reserved about it, but then some people are over the top. Well, actually, I take that back. It's like these people you see now with the scams, and they're like flashing all that money all over the internet.
Like they really believe
like
that they live this lifestyle.
Like you could just get away with this if you just be quiet. Just be quiet.
No, he wanted to show out every chance he get, and every chance he's wrong.
Oh, sorry. And so in Meeting Lockhart, we get one of the you know, the best scenes of the book. Well, again, like the reason why this book is my favorite is because the action kicks up. So, you know, when Lucius comes in and he meets with Arthur, and he starts talking this Malfoy, we're better than everybody's shit, and then him and Mr. Weasley start fighting, like right in the middle of the book club.
How you like this ass whoop, Cam? I fucking love it, bitch!
And this is when you see kind of, the Malfoy is a little bit kind of bitch made, just a little bit.
So Dobby warns him not to go back. He doesn't listen. They try to go to the train. For some reason they can't get on the train, so they have to take the dad's flying car. And then we get to school, everybody thinking he did this on purpose, like he wants all this.
Now Harry's back at school. Him and Ron survived the Whomping Willow. He has the detention now. And then this is when he starts to hear the voices when he's leaving the Death Day party. Again, the Death Day party wasn't in the movies, but for the book, he's leaving that party, and then that's when he hears the voices, and then that's when they see the writing on the wall about the Chamber of Secrets being open. Then people start to begin to be petrified, and people are asking questions. They want to know, is the Chamber of Secrets real? Is it not? And then that's when we start to find out about the 4 founding fathers of Hogwarts.
Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin.
So Hermione wanted to know more about what was going on. In the movie, she asked McGonagall about the Chamber of Secrets. McGonagall explained that the Founding Fathers had different ideas about where the school should be headed. Salazar Slytherin wanted only purebloods to be able to come to school. The other 3 did not agree, so there was kind of a divide. Then Salazar Slytherin created the Chamber of Secrets and then just left.
Salazar Slytherin wished to be more selective about the students admitted to Hogwarts. He believed magical learning should be kept within all magic families. In other words, purebloods.
Now McGonagall is telling us present day, all of this stuff. So now the students are like, this is real, getting kind of worried. And then the professors decide that, to kind of calm them down, make them feel safer, they're going to start this dueling club.
For dueling club, they had the Quidditch match with the rogue bludger. And one of my favorite scenes when, Harry's just minding his business, looking for the snitch, trying to win the game, and here come Malfoy flying up and just started roasting them.
All right, there, Scarhead.
Alright, so, Dumbledore should have known that Lockhart was a fraud. Even if he didn't know before, at the Quidditch match, when the bludger was following Harry, broke his arm, and Lockhart did that bogus spell.
Are you okay?
No, I think my arm's broken.
Not to worry, Harry. I will fix that arm of yours straight away.
No. Not you.
Not you. Boy, he doesn't know what he's saying now.
To remove all of the bones.
All you had to do is fix one.
Just one.
Just fix one bone.
Brachium. Oh, man, that's not even a real spell. He's just making up words at this point.
Brachium. Emendo. Ah, yes, well.
Now Harry's in the hospital wing, and Dobby comes back, tells him a little bit more, and then that's when they bring in another petrified student. And then this one we find out that McGonagall, the teachers are full of shit, and they knew that the chamber was real, because that's when they said that they feared that the chamber has been opened again. So we knew that was full of shit then. So then now that Lockhart for some reason wants to do a dueling club, so he starts a dueling club.
Why would you put yourself on the spot like this?
Why would Dumbledore okay it? Why would Dumbledore? I guess he okayed it because he knew Snape was gonna be there.
Oh, his assistant, Lockhart's assistant.
Pissed Snape off. Snape was mad about that the whole time when he called him his assistant.
Let me introduce my assistant, Professor Snape.
Snape got the flip in his hair and everything. He
Look.
was heated.
And then that's when they start playing on the Malfoy and Harry rivalry.
At the ready.
Scared Potter.
You wish.
Then we start to see things start to turn on Harry with the whole snake incident, and then Justin thought that he was actually egging the snake on when he was actually trying to, calm him down.
What are you playing at?
And that's when we started people started thinking maybe Harry is the heir of Slytherin. He can speak parcel tongue. The only person who can do that was Salazar Slytherin, or another person that can do that was Salazar.
People would turn on you in a heartbeat, and the only people who was there was the ones that was loyal to him from the beginning all the way to the end.
Because didn't he had just speak to Hagrid? Either before or he had just spoke to Hagrid when Justin was petrified. Justin and near the headless snake, and then Hagrid bust up in the office. Harry didn't do it. Harry didn't do it. And Dumbledore like,
relax,
relax, bro.
We got it. Your work here is done.
Calm
we got
down,
it.
man. So now now after a couple of incidents of students being petrified, you know, the gang is now starting to take on matters into their own hands. And so that's when they try to, you know, they come up with the Polyjuice Potion. They don't really find out many answers after doing that, except that they know Draco isn't the heir Slytherin, which, you know, I guess that helps, but to take one person off the board. But then they go in, you know, Harry ends up finding the Tom Riddle's diary in the bathroom with moaning Murder.
So this is where they get their like missing piece of information, or so they think, because when Harry gets the diary, Tom kind of tricks him into coming into a memory, and he gets sucked into the memory, and Tom Riddle has made it seem like the last time the Chamber of Secrets was open, it was Hagrid's fault because he was housing a beast and didn't want anybody at Hogwarts to know. And so then he opened the chamber to try to hide his beast there.
Hagrid seemed like the type of the kid that was playing with bugs and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
why you got that big ass spider in
And he set himself up because, you know, that memory seemed really believable.
Yeah,
like, you know, Hagrid likes all these crazy things that are not supposed to be at school.
Like, why you got that big ass spider though in that school with people? Like,
right.
You was gonna get caught. You know you were.
So of course Tom made himself look like the superhero here. He got, you know, he killed whatever Hagrid had.
I respect Tom because he like Harry didn't want to go back to the Dursleys. Tom didn't want to go back to he didn't want to go back to that orphanage. He was like, nah.
He took matters into his
back. I got
hands.
this. I ain't going back. I ain't going back.
So then we got that memory. Then Harry really wants to go talk to Hagrid about it. He doesn't really know how to approach him, but then he gets to Hagrid's and Cornelius Fudge is there. This is where we meet the Minister of Magic.
Yeah, this is the first time we meet him, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we meet Cornelius, and then they take Hagrid. You know, and Lucius shows up. You know it's something up when Lucius Malfoy shows up.
Right, he's always behind some.
So they take Hagrid, you know, take him to Azkaban, and then
Hagrid gives Harry
Hagrid wasn't feeling that shit. He said, "Take me where? To Azkaban prison?
Take me. Take me where? Not Azkaban prison."
He was not feeling that shit. But so now Hagrid gives him information to follow the spiders, and then he leads them to Aragog, the beast that was supposed to be the one that killed the girl back in the memory. But we find out that it wasn't the beast, and they're actually scared of the beast. So now they know that Hagrid didn't open the chamber too. All right, so now that we know that Hagrid didn't open the Chamber of Secrets, Aragog didn't come from the chamber, soon after that we actually find out what it was. It turns out to be a snake, thanks to Hermione writing the paper in her hand before she got petrified, and holding the mirror, showing them how to defeat the basilisk, or get around it at least. We find out what the basilisk is, what the monster is, which is a basilisk, and then we find out that someone was taken to the chamber.
Yeah, so Ron and Harry overheard the teachers talking. They said that somebody was taken. They figure out that it was Ginny. So now they're like, of course, they want to do everything they can to save her. So they go and try to find Lockhart, and they're like, we got to go now. You got to help us. You're the defense teacher, so we need your help. They weren't really supposed to know what was going on because the teachers were trying to hide it from the students, but so then they went to Lockhart, and he's like, actually, I can't do none of this. So they take him. They're like, you're coming with us anyway. They take him to Moaning Myrtle. They figure out that she was the girl who died. So they go to Moaning Myrtle's bathroom and try to get some answers about how to get into the chamber. And then she ends up pointing to where the chamber is. They go into it. Their plan first is to bring Lockhart, and all three of them are going to go save Ginny, but then something happens down there.
Lockhart tried to
but that's where he tried to take
then,
their memory.
Yeah, then the spell backfired, causing them to be blocked off.
Because he used Ron's wand, which was already messed up.
Right.
You first, Mr. Potter. Say goodbye to your memories.
Oblivion!
So now Harry's on his own. He has to go. He sees Ginny. She's laying by herself. And then he sees Tom Riddle approach, and he thinks that Tom Riddle is on his side. He's like, let's help her. And then Tom Riddle starts to tell us about who he really is.
This is our second this is our second meeting, our second time meeting Voldemort, which I think is like brilliant. So we saw him once in like this weakened state of him attached to someone's body, and now we're seeing him for the second time as a younger version of himself, as a memory. So we're like, so it's like he's there and he's not there at the same time, right? So
that is really cool how like so far we have not even met the real Voldemort, and he still has such an impact. Like he did all of that stuff in the first book as just a small being of himself, and now he's done all of this as the memory of him. Like, yeah, imagine when we meet the actual Voldemort, what he could be capable of if he can do all of this damage so far.
Like he said, I've driven Dumbledore out of the school with just a mere memory of myself. Right. I never understood why the pure blood wizards let a half-blood lead the revolution against other Muggle-born.
Right? Like, wasn't he one of the ones that was supposed to be tossed out?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't pure blood. So.
All right, we going too far.
All right.
Back to where we were. So, Harry gets to see Tom. He realizes that this is Voldemort. He figures out how to defeat this version of him, knowing that there's still another version of him out there somewhere. But he defeats this version of him. He saves Ginny.
So they go back up to the school, and then we find out that it was actually Lucius Malfoy that put the diary in Ginny's cauldron. This is how we kind of see that the attempts to bring Voldemort back won't stop. They're going to continue. So then after that, we get Dobby gets to be free. Harry sneaks in that sock, which was brilliant, and then Harry gets his praise, and you can also see the threat that Lucius Malfoy made, which led me to believe that he would be a bigger part, a more deadly part of the series moving forward, that he never quite lived up to.
This book did a good job of like foreshadowing from the very beginning of the story. We meet Dobby, but we don't know who he is. We don't know why he's coming with a warning. Then we see Lucius in the store, which was for a reason. He was there to put the book in Ginny's bag. So it's kind of like a full circle movie, I feel like, to me. Like by the time you get to the end, everything from the beginning of it has been explained, which was really cool.
So like I said, yeah, again, that's why this was one of my favorite books. Again, and also one of my favorite movies of the series. But this sets you up for like now we're like and sometimes you get the first installment and then the second installment doesn't quite live up to me. I think the first installment was good, and then this one, the second installment was great, and then the third one kind of takes off. But we'll get there when we discuss Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban. So you guys come back and
make sure to tune into our next video.
Come back and talk with us. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.